Sitting atop the Montezuma Mesa in the most beautiful city in the U.S. is an institution which has been turning eager-minded teenagers into young adults since 1897. SDSU is the third oldest university in the CSU system and boasts a student body of almost 30,000 and has produced almost 200,000 alumni. Regarded as a commuter school, SDSU is still the largest and oldest university in the San Diego area. Its campus is always active with live music, entertainment, shopping, and plenty of places to eat. However, with the recent economic issues, SDSU, like many other schools in California, has seen its budget dramatically cut. Next year they estimate to cut back on 4,600 students, 230 teachers, and almost 860 classes. The students' responses to these actions?
They tell us we need to learn how to cut back. But we say it's time to fight back.
For the second straight year, SDSU students and faculty participated in the March 4th rallies. On March 4th at 11 a.m., students and faculty were asked to walk out of class and rally in unity. Speakers at this rally ranged from prospective college students from San Diego high schools, current San Diego State students, and two members of the SDSU faculty. The message of all these speakers was to remind the politicians,
and we must let the people know that it is whose university?
These events that took place on March 4th stemmed from an incident 3 years ago when a group of students from UC Berkeley protested the recent budget cuts by having a sit-in on the dean's front lawn. However, all of these students were subsequently arrested, and Governor Schwarzenegger's response to the situation only ignited the fires even more.
Our very own Governor, Arnold Schwarzenegger, denounced the actions taken by these students, saying they were participating, and I quote, in a type of terrorism. But he felt no need to comment on the racist events that have been terrorizing students at UC San Diego. What he calls terrorism, I call First Amendment rights, and what bigots claim is their First Amendment rights, I call terrorism.
Opponents to these rallies say that it's hypocritical to protest cuts in classes by walking out on the education you have. One current student at SDSU, however, had this response to that kind of thinking.
Of this day, the opposing argument has been, why would you walk out on your education when you want one? The valid point in this is that I do want an education, but I want a true education. I do not want an education where I have to crash classes on top of the 5 that I'm already taking. I do not want an education where I have to postpone graduation by a semester because I need that one class that is offered only every other semester. I do not want an education where I am responsible for information that has not been taught to me because of a furlough day. And I do not want an education where I have more graduate students as professors than professors themselves. So yes, I am willing to walk out of this joke of an education.
One of the most electric speeches at the rally was given by Professor Emmanuel Saccarelli of the Palisade Department. He called for correct accountability and action, not words.
Teachers ought to be accountable, he said. How come the hedge fund managers and the billionaires and the bankers and the generals and the war criminals are not held accountable by Obama and only the teachers? You want to fight, and you should fight. But as Andrew said just before, you have to understand what you're up against. If you think that the things will be solved by appealing to Sacramento by those means, by venting at the tent, you are sadly mistaken. We are not here to vent at the tent. The power, the solution, the fix to the problems of education in California and internationally is here. It is not there.
The rally ended with a speech from another professor, Isidro Ortiz of the Chicano and Chicano department. Mr. Ortiz properly put the day's events into a generational perspective. and also reminded us all that issues like these can only be solved with groups working as one in solidarity.
I came actually to take pictures to document your struggle. In the 1960s, students like yourselves democratized higher education. They opened up the doors to women, to Latinos, to African Americans, to Puerto Ricans, Native Americans. You today are making history. This is the first time in my 30 years of in higher education that students across the state have banded together in this way. In so doing, you're challenging the stereotype of your generation as being young people who are indifferent, apathetic, and self-centered. I don't see that here today. The first thing I'd like for you to do is to reach out and hold someone's hand.